Next, we will discuss the F distribution. For every new distribution, we will follow the following template. First, we will discuss the parameters and the properties of its probability density curve. Then we will discuss how to compute the probabilities and find the X sub alphas. The probability density curve of F distribution has the following properties. Property number 1, the total area of course is equal to 1. Property number 2, the curve starts at the origin and extends indefinitely to the right, approaching but never touching the horizontal axis, which results in property number 3. The curve is right skewed. Property number 4 is called the reciprocal property of F curves, and we will see an application of it later. The values dfn and dfd determine entirely the shape of the F curve and are called the parameters of the distribution. We would use the following notation to label a variable that has an F distribution with parameters dfn and dfd. Let f be a random variable that has F distribution with 6 and 2 degrees of freedom. Then the probability density curve of f takes a very specific shape determined by the parameters. Next, we want to be able to find the probability such as this one and find the f sub alphas such as this one. Let's make sure we understand the questions well. To find the probability that f is less than 8.24 means to find the area under the f curve to the left of 8.24. To find f sub 0.05 means to find the value, the area under the f curve to the right of which is equal to 0.05. Luckily, there are many ways to use technology to answer these two questions. In reality, while it is not too hard to use technology to find the probabilities, very rarely one would have to do this task in the applications. However, while it is also not too hard to use technology to find F alphas, this task will be very common in the applications, so it is worth learning how to perform this task by hand. Let f be a random variable that has F distribution with 6 and 2 degrees of freedom. And let's find f sub 0.05. The most frequently used f sub alphas are summarized in the following table. We need to identify the degrees of freedom, which are 6 and 2, and alpha, which is 0.05. Then we'll look for the value in the intersection, which is our desired f sub 0.05. Let's do another example. Let f be a random variable that has F distribution with 4 and 3 degrees of freedom. And let's find f sub 0.01. We need to identify the degrees of freedom, which are 4 and 3, and alpha, which is 0.01. Then we'll look for the value in the intersection, which is our desired f sub 0.01. How about the alphas that are on the other side of the spectrum? Since f is not symmetric about 0, we cannot use the same property we used for computing t sub alphas. But unlike chi-square distributions, F distributions have the reciprocal property that allows us to find such F sub alphas. Let F be a random variable that has F distribution with 2 and 3 degrees of freedom. And let's find F sub 0.99. By the reciprocal property, F sub 0.99 is the reciprocal of F sub 0.09 with reversed degrees of freedom. That is, dfn is 3 and dfd is 2. We only need to identify alpha now, which is 0.01, and look for the value in the intersection, reciprocal of which is our desired f sub 0.99. Let's apply this new knowledge. A randomly selected realtor's monthly commission in thousands of dollars can be estimated by a random variable that follows F distribution with parameters 15 and 3. Let F be the commission of a randomly selected realtor. Let's find the following probabilities and compute the median value. It is given that F has F distribution with 15 and 3 degrees of freedom, and we can use technology to answer every single question. Let's interpret the results. There is a 58.5% chance that a randomly selected realtor's commission is less than $1,500 per month. there is a 5.6% chance that a randomly selected realtor's commission is more than $8,000 per month. There is a 13.1% chance that a randomly selected realtor's commission is between $3,000 and $7,000 per month. Finally, if your commission is $1,200 per month, you are better off than half of the realtors. Now we can claim that we know F distributions.